Metal Hammer of Doom X-TRA.
So what we're going to do is, I don't know if people remember this or not, but there was a arcade game where first you took on the Death Star, then there was the Hoth battle, and then there was the Battle of Endor. And it was usually you're piloting some sort of ship. There were 2 lightsaber levels. I jumped a lot of quarters into this thing.
Is this
as a kid?
Well, once you bring it up here, we had a Star Wars game at the arcade that I worked at. And maybe I could share some stories about that. If it's the same one, we'll find out here once you bring it up. Sega.
Nerds.
Oh.
So it takes a minute to get through this. I can fast forward it if you want. Oh, here we go.
Nope. I know where this is. The game. I'm fairly certain. You sat down in
the thing, in the seat.
Yep. You had the yoke stick, I guess you would say.
Right. So we start off with the Battle of Yavin. This is going to be the assault on the first Death Star. And you're going to pilot an X-Wing fighter. So your mission is to destroy the Death Star. Yep, this is the game.
Yes, sir.
So it's like, this is something like an afterburner kind of a thing. You know, you have the pilot stick, and you're going to try to take out as many Star Destroyers and their cannons as possible. Pick off TIE fighters, and then eventually you're going to make the trench run.
Yes. Take them out. There you go. Good job. We had this game at the arcade there, it's right up against the wall, and it had its issues. We'll just put it that way. You know, when you work at an arcade, great, you're around games all day long, but you also got to fix the things. Okay, when they break down,
you've got issues.
Well, a lot of times what you'd end up having is clearly it's just the joystick, and you'd have to get in there, and if something is off on one of the sensors, whether you go up, down, left, right, or whatever, you had to go in there and figure out where the problem was, take it apart. That was one of the bigger pain in the asses, was getting into it. You had to take the whole front of it off, get down to the joystick, take the joystick apart, find the they had these little switches usually. You know, when you went to the left, it hit a switch. Went to the right, it hit a switch. And that's usually the biggest pain. You didn't have much of a problem. I'll tell you right now, this looks spectacular and clear. It's very clear what we're watching here on YouTube. At the arcade, it was pretty much a big screen TV.
Yeah.
It didn't look anywhere as crisp as this.
No.
Nowhere near as crisp.
I actually remember that. So I was watching A New Hope with Lily, as I said before. One of the things that I picked up on, and I've actually heard people talk about this in other reviews, was the amount of trench runs there are.
Oh yeah, I think either you mentioned this or somebody else mentioned it about how they did 4 different ones, right? Like originally,
there's 3 in the movie, but there were like 6 of them that they shot. And they had to edit it down from what I remember. I mean, I don't know if I've got all my numbers right there, but it was something like double the amount that you see in the movie.
Yeah, each of them had a different like spin on it. Like one had to be with the targeting computer, and then the other one was with like something. The final one's obviously with the Force, but yeah, they had to take it down.
Well, that was a weird thing. It was like I'm watching this, and this is more of a criticism of the movie, but you see the first 3 go into the trench, and then Darth Vader comes up behind them with the 2 accompanying TIE fighters and blows them all away. Yep. And then the second run, basically, the guy gets the shot off, but he misses, and the other 2 got picked off. And then Luke's run, he's only saved by Han Solo.
Yeah.
Which made me think, why wasn't anyone outside the trench covering the second run?
Did they run out of fighters at that point?
I don't know. It was weird to me. Like, I'm watching this, I'm like, as a strategy, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, just send his ass in there alone. Okay.
Well, it's like, he keeps going in there with 2 accompanying fighters, but they can't maneuver because they're in a trench. And so, like, why not pull up out of the trench and try to get behind the? It's like essentially they're just sitting ducks.
Yeah, they're going in a straight line, and everybody knows where they're at.
And it's like, well, you're gonna die. Essentially, what the other 2 fighters were doing was providing cover for the third fighter that's going to take the shot, but there's nothing they can do except get shot.
I just saw a meme today. Somebody posted where it has that targeting computer up there as you're getting closer, and they put it above a urinal. And it said, "Stay on target."
Waka waka.
Okay, get ready to drop this piece.
Boom.
Get out of there.
It's a hit. See, you know what's wrong about this is that he used the force. He didn't use the targeting computer.
That's true.
There's your ring.
This game has nothing. Yeah. It's force. It's a force. What would be the word? Force absent.
Yes.
Force absent.
Right. There's nobody with the force in this game. So now we move on to Hoth, and the idea here is to destroy all the Imperial walkers, which, you know that old movie? So I think the object here, just like in the movie, was that their shielding is too strong, and so eventually you got to use your harpoons and tow cables to trip them.
I don't know if that actually happens in here or not. Did you watch this already?
No, see, they just said no. But I remember the game, and the game is a pretty accurate representation of what happens in the movie, minus the force.
A lot of times when it comes to arcade games, it's rare that you see past the first level anyway.
Yeah, well,
especially if you're just hanging around.
That's kind of why I like doing these arcade playthrough watches now. I mean, I wouldn't do them unless we were going to talk about it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and watch 2 hours of, you know.
Oh, you're not your kids?
Yeah, of a Let's Play. No thanks. But a couple of times now, something's come up and it said that armor's too strong for blasters.
Yeah,
so they don't seem to be having a problem with that now.
Yeah, they're taking out the neck. They shoot for the neck because I don't think there's a way to deploy the tow cable. Notice that it says light level 3 up at the top. I don't know what that means, but it's possible that has something to do with the force. Because you got your light side and maybe your dark side. I don't know.
Maybe.
And it could be a bonus of some sort.
So a couple of times now,
there goes tow cables.
Yeah, there we go. Yep, one more passed. A couple of times now they've said attack pattern delta, which is the line from the movie.
Aim for the neck.
Aim for the neck. Yeah, hitting it on the side doesn't really help.
Now these little black droids running around, flying around, are they hunter killers? Is that their names? Any idea?
They were probe droids.
Probe droids. That's right. I remember
Darth Vader sent them out to look for Luke Skywalker, and they found the base. And the one guy was like, it could be smugglers, it could be anything. And Darth Vader's like, could be your mother. Just get down there.
Don't remember that part in the movie.
Could be your mama. Watch that crossfire, boys. That's a line from Luke.
I
remember all this.
Nerd. I can remember. What was that? Dark Empire.
Yeah.
Dark Empire. When I was reading Dark Empire, they had like humongous. I'm talking like gigantic probe droid looking things, like we just saw, but they're like almost the size of a ship out in space. So it's like they took that model and expanded it so huge that people were like piloting these things. Or, well, I don't know if they were piloted because they were. Get that bonus. They were.
So now
I think they were fully automated.
We're in a first-person shooter. This is the bit where Darth Vader and the snowtroopers have invaded the rebel base, and they are looking to take some rebels out. Now, you, of course, are going to try to shoot your way out of here. Laser beams!
Laser beams! The other issue we had, the joystick, if you remember right, had buttons in there, obviously, to pull the trigger.
Right.
That's the other issue. That trigger goes, man, you have some unhappy customers.
How often did you have to deal with sticky things?
Sticky things.
Why were there whompers?
Yeah, just keeping them in, and then we just open up a random door and shoot them to death.
The Wampus are like, get us out of here. Oh, God.
Damn arms in the air, too. I'm unarmed.
Hands up. Don't shoot.
Shoot him.
Clearly, this game was making a political commentary about
yeah.
black culture.
Way before its time.
Exactly. Oh, the problem's been around for years. It's just,
that's true. That's true.
A subtle way of dealing with it. Wow. And we have C-3PO and R2-D2.
Take him out.
Can't get out of here.
Yeah, geez, stay out of the way. When you hear gunfire, don't run towards it. It's the last thing.
We're going to try to get aboard the Millennium Falcon now. I believe Darth Vader shows up in this scene.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. The object is to get C-3PO and R2-D2 onto this Millennium Falcon so it can take off.
Taking out. I always thought this stormtrooper suit was awesome. I thought it looked very cool. That's probably one of my favorite troopers.
The snowtrooper suit.
The snowtroopers, yeah. Oh, this guy.
Damn Wampa!
Oh, hands up! Don't shoot!
Oh, poor little Wampa. Okay, nope, no Darth Vader.
The Millennium Falcon. Oh, here's a picture of the dead Wampa. You shot. Shield repair. All right. Oh,
right.
It's dual time with Boba Fett. Yes.
Because we're done with the Empire Strikes Back now. So
I have like 3 Star Wars comics in my collection. I have a lot of comics, and one of the ones that I have just by sheer accident was where they told the story of how Boba Fett got out of the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, there was a Tales from the Mos Eisley's Cantina, which actually features the Boba Fett getting out of the Sarlacc pit story.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's a novel. A compilation of short stories.
Oh, okay.
That's where I learned about jizz whaling.
Jizz whaler. Oh, boy. Just going to hover here and fire randomly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this guy is blocking all the shots.
Use your back torpedo. We don't get to see a Sarlacc?
No Sarlacc. He deflected all the shots and eventually took Boba Fett out.
It's pretty good. This guy's doing pretty decent. Obviously, we're watching a playthrough. They're not going to show us the one where he died 20 times. But
I did pretty well with this game. It moved at a speed that I could keep up with what was happening. But I always sucked at this. I couldn't get past this to save my life. This is the speeder bike scene in Endor. You know, I remember as a kid watching the speeder bike scene in Return of the Jedi and just thinking it was the coolest thing ever.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. It was awesome. I mean, even
how fast that was. I mean, like, it's one of those rare instances of movie magic for me specifically.
Yeah. Even like previous iterations of this stage in games. So the speeder bikes, there's been other ones in other different arcade games and video games. This is always like one of my, I always thought a bike that hovers with a freaking laser on the front. That's badass, okay?
Yeah, if I had a choice between this and the Back to the Future hoverboard, I'm taking the speeder bike.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind I'm taking the speeder bike. I love the hoverboard, don't get me wrong, and I love my Back to the Future franchise, but I'll take a speeder bike. And the thing is, you wouldn't catch me in a forest with redwoods all around and trying to test it out.
I'm not driving to the California redwoods in a speeder bike. Pass. My reaction to, first of all, if it was, it wouldn't be a speeder bike, it would be a slower bike.
That's well, speed, put her down in first gear. We'll keep her there.
Yeah, as it is, I'm kind of some would say I'm kind of a pansy driver. I would say I'm very safe.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Oh, man.
Drives my wife crazy. She hates driving with me because, like, I'm super cautious. Of course, ask me how many wrecks I've been in since we've been married. Ask her how many times she's been hit.
There you go. There you go, woman.
That's
Scout
right.
Trooper evaded.
Stay in the kitchen, make a sandwich. Stop driving. 10,000 dislikes.
The women's movement has found us.
Speaking of which, wait till you see Solo.
Oh boy. Probably gonna go.
It was very much made in the Me Too movement. I'll tell you that much. All right, so we're back to first person shooting again. And we're gonna shoot our way through the window.
Oh,
There
he was showing up. I was like, why isn't that guy aiming?
Nice. There's running across.
Wicked.
Wow, happy face, never seen me smile. See, I edited myself. There you walk. Oh, you hit him in the head.
We're down to 15 shield. This guy's actually having some trouble here.
Yeah, he's been down low before.
He needs to be a little bit more careful.
Shoot down all the enemies.
Haven't done that all game, have we?
Thanks, instructions. Don't shoot your own men. Okay. Boom. Right between the eyes. Oh, and another Ewok.
3,000.
Yeah,
just for letting the Ewok
jump on his head.
Just for letting the Ewok do his thing. Oh, that was right in the face.
Yep. Hold the entrance till the charges blows up. No, God. This is random. Wherever there's crossfire, you'll find C-3PO and R2-D2 just moseying along.
My primary programming is to be in the way. Like, okay, dude, get the fuck out. Both of you.
I speak the universal language of pig hostage. They did not use any of the primary characters in this.
No, this is Sue and Johnny. Shoot the gun. Oh, he had to continue.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. I'm just like, the thing is turning. Shoot the gun.
That done got
and
blowed
the
up.
shield is down, Jesse Starcher. The shield is down.
I wonder when this came out, because clearly it had to have come out in like the late 90s. Or mid to late 90s, just when the prequels were probably getting ready to hit it. The graphics look awful good. Of course, it's an arcade game, and you always got the good graphics with the arcade game. This feels very much like a press the event button. That's right, we had the event button over there.
Right.
Its one sole purpose was to drop the torpedoes and then turn your lightsaber on.
Now we're gonna have a battle here with this is our second duel with Darth Vader from Luke Skywalker. I don't think they're going to do the bit where he goes crazy and starts just wailing on Darth with no composure, no skill at all. He's just, kill you!
Press the event button to rage. All right, let's do it.
Press the rampage button. That's what this always cracked me up about Luke Skywalker. You know, they emphasized the fact that he wasn't fully trained and he didn't have the skill of Darth Vader, and Darth Vader was just like master swordsman. And it's just like, you know, I'm gonna kill your sister, bah! And that was enough. That was plenty. You know.
Yep.
Not to pick on Return of the Jedi, because God knows it's been picked on enough. But that always cracked me up about that scene. He basically had to hide from Darth Vader. You know, because he didn't want to kill him, but he wasn't just going to stand there and let Darth Vader wail on him with a sword. So he goes into hiding, and then he just gives it up when, you know, it's just like, oh, I'll turn your sister. How about that? And then again, no skill. It's just sheer rage.
Oh yeah, he beats him practically into submission.
Yeah, which my point with that is, you would have thought that Darth Vader would have been skilled enough to fight him back, but you know, it's a movie, whatever. I'm sure there's somebody out there will. Technically.
Let me tell you a little something about Star Wars.
He couldn't hail him back because he was being propelled by the dark side.
So are we doing the first stage over again for our last stage?
Damn it, Starcher. Know your Star Wars.
I know my Star Wars, but I'm just like, are we doing another trench run or what are we doing?
This is the Return of the Jedi attack on the Death Star.
Okay.
See, it's the half built Death Star that's over there.
You see all the TIE fighters that are coming at us, just like in the first stage? Point made? Or point... I'll try it.
It's different. Damn it. It's different.
There's background. That's probably about the only biggest different part here.
Yeah, there's the Executioner there in the background, the Super Star Destroyer. It was the half-built Death Star.
Is that the name of it? The Executioner?
Yeah, it's the Executioner. That was the command ship.
Oh, no kidding. I did not know that.
I know my Star Wars.
Was that mentioned in the movie, or is that a...
I think I picked that up from reading the novels.
That's a book? Okay.
Yes, this was a video game from when I was in probably high school.
Yeah, see, I'm not the biggest Star Wars enthusiast where I know a lot of... Like,
Star Wars is life!
Well, I remember in college, like, you know, there was this guy, one of the guys that kind of got me back into watching wrestling, but he was a huge Star Wars fan, and we were doing, like, Star Wars trivia. Now, I knew I wasn't going to win that shit. And that looked like a ship that was made out of stone, by the way. I don't if that was supposed to be an asteroid or something.
I think that was that was a command frigate. That was
okay.
That was either a medical frigate.
It had no windows.
It had no. that might not have been the medical frigate. Then that might have been one of the other big rebel ships.
This guy's got 6 shield. I noticed that you press the event button for help.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember Star Wars trivia there in college, and the guy was one of the questions he asked was how many engines are on the back of a Star Destroyer. I was like,
So are you familiar with the rap group De La Soul?
Yes.
Do you remember the album 3 Feet High and Rising?
Yes.
Remember the bit that you remember? Do you remember?
Do you remember?
Yes, we're doing another trench run, by the way. But it's different.
Sure.
Shut up. The 3 Feet High and Rising was a game show on the album, and it was like, how many times did the Batmobile catch a flat? How many fibers are intertwined in a shredded wheat biscuit?
Oh, come on. How many engines are on the back of a Star Destroyer?
That's right. I'm not going to say that doesn't take the magic out of Star Wars, but
no, yeah. I mean, this when you can enjoy a property that much to where you want to know every little bit about it. Clearly, George Lucas has done his job.
Again, I'm going to reference the Red Letter Media guys, where I just rewatched their video, their prediction. A year ago, they did a video of predicting what was going to be in the Solo movie. It was kind of like what we do, where it's just like, let's think of the dumbest thing ever and throw it, and say like that's going to be in the movie. Or I should say, would I do one Damn You Hollywood with Robert just to drive him nuts? Think of the worst things I can think of, and like, yeah, that's got to be in the movie.
And watch him no sell it.
Yeah, well, that's our magic.
That is it.
One of the things they talked about was how Han won the Millennium Falcon by playing cards, and somebody had actually written up the rules of that particular space card game.
Oh, wow.
And he read them like verbatim. Now, the way they edited it was you don't really hear what he's saying, because they just laid the sound one on top of the other to make it sound like he was droning on and on. But yeah, people have gone. The other thing, which I recommend watching this video, the 10 or 20 things you didn't know about Darth Vader's suit, which is all stuff people made up, by the way.
Oh, of course.
And it's hilarious, especially the way they do it. I plug Red Letter Media a lot. I should tweet them and be like, plug my stuff, damn it.
Yeah,
You guys are famous.
Damn it. I got like 1% of your listenership.
Yeah, less.
Thank me.
Much less. It's like 0.001. And here we go. Boom.
Hey,
ring.
the Millennium Falcon made it.
There's your ring. More rings in this than the Lord of the Rings movie.
Boom. Yavin.
And we're done here. Yep. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished.
Boba Fett. Indoor Forest. Darth Vader. You won, by the way. Indoor Space.
See, it's different.
Your general. All right.
And that's it. So we have watched the entire arcade game here.
Tune in Wednesday for the Metal Hammer of Doom on the Radulich and Broadcasting Network.